So I created the super cool agent with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is the latest thinking model by Claude. And it's actually a fantastic agent because you can just add your niche, AI, or let's say generative AI and AI agents. And you can add the target audience here like AI experts, AI educators, AI learners, and then let's add goals to increase followers. Now, when you run this, it would automatically look up the web, find the relevant data you need and create a content calendar for you. In here, you can see I'm using Claude 3.7 Sonnet to run this model. So let's go ahead and see how the output looks like. So you can see the agent has started running, and this actually goes to Google, looks for the SERP API, and this actually goes to Google to find relevant topics, works with Claude in order to generate the output that you need. So you can see these are all the model outputs, or rather the data coming from Google, which will then be sent to these separate agents to work together, right? So we have the trend researcher to find trends, the content strategist to find content, and the content creator to actually create the content. Right now, content calendar specialist is the one that is working on this agent. Notice how I added max tokens in here because Claude 3.7 Sonnet right now has the max token limit of 20,000 per minute. So I had to add a wait of up to 1 minute or limit the amount of tokens before I can, do another query. You can see the exact same thing happened here as well. Max RPM reached, waiting for next minute to start. Now this is unfortunate given that this is a great model, but while we wait for the model or agent to complete, let's quickly take a look at Claude 3.7. So not only did Claude or Anthropic launch Claude 3.7 Sonnet, they also launched Claude Code, which is a terminal-based app, rather a command line tool for agentic coding. This is the first reasoning model by Claude, and the difference between this reasoning model and the other ones is that it has this hybrid state. It decides when to think and when not to think. You can see it's both an ordinary LLM and a reasoning model in one. You can pick when you want the model to answer normally and when you want to think before answering. In the standard mode, 3.7 represents an upgraded version of 3.5 Sonnet. In the extended thinking mode, which is new and you will be able to find it on Claude. So if you go to Claude and take a look here, there's the extended mode which will be able to do thinking before it answers the questions for you. You can see in the software engineering benchmark, it is actually way better than the previous Claude 3.5 model, and I've been using Claude 3.5 for coding for as long as it has been live. I don't use any other models to write my code, and I can tell you this is a great model, and the fact that it can go up to 70%, it's insane. From the agentic tool use standpoint, a lot of models like Gemini 2.0 and O3 Mini actually keep failing because they don't know how to write tool relevant code, but Claude apparently is way better than 3.5 and even O1 Mini, or rather OpenAI's O1 in having agentic tool based use case integrated. I don't see the notes for O3 Mini in here, but if you look at the benchmarks, it falls a little bit short when it comes to graduate level reasoning as opposed to O3 Mini, and falls a lot short when it comes to Grok 3 beta. With extended mode, it is almost as good as Grok 3. There are no comparisons for agentic coding or agentic tool use, but from the multilingual standpoint, this is the second best model after O1 Mini. From the visual reasoning standpoint, this is the second best model again, and from the instruction flow standpoint, it is the best model. Math problem solving based, it's the I think second or third best, and again from the math standpoint, it is second or third best as opposed to Grok 3 and O3 Mini. They've also introduced something called Claude Code, which will be an agent that will directly connect to your GitHub repo and make changes without you having to spend time making those changes for your repo, which is insane. So if you look at the output, we did get the output for the agent. It's just that we were not able to show it in the UI here, which is fine because you can fix that. But if you look at the output here, day 1, build your first AI agent step-by-step journey. Headline, 0 to hero AI agent. Second day, to multimodal AI mastery. Small language models, the future of efficient AI. AI PC revolution. Responsible AI implementation. Weekend project, create your first AI application. So this is the calendar which should ideally show up in the UI, but I think I may have messed up in the UI code here somewhere, which is why it wasn't able to pass the data correctly. But the agent flow worked as expected. Now let's quickly take a look at the code itself and how we built this agent. And note that this agent is on demand, meaning you can actually set up a cron and this agent will run on a day-to-day basis to find which content or piece of content to write a post about. So again, if you've gone through the previous Crew AI videos, this should seem very simple. So we have the search tool and the website tool. If you haven't gone through the previous video, now is the best time to do so. Then we create an LLM, and in this case, we use Claude 3.7 Sonnet. From the content calendar standpoint, we need three agents. The trend researchers to find the research, we assign role, goal, and backstory. Content strategists, again, role, goal, and backstory. Content creator to actually create the calendar based on the research data we get from researcher and content strategist. Then we create tasks where we create trend researcher tasks to find the right trends, strategy tasks to find the right strategy, or rather the strategy to post those posts. And we also give the format here, the content brief task to give headline, brief hook, 3 to 5 key points and call to action for each of the posts. And then we create the crew where we put together all the agents, tasks, and keep verbose as true so we know what's going on. And then we run the content calendar creation agent by running the crew. So result is equal to crew.kickoff, which will run the agent workflow. And then we save the content calendar. In the main function, we've defined the Streamlit UI here. And don't worry, all of this code is available in the GitHub repo in the description. But this is just the UI for the application that you see right here. This is the UI. And this is where the JSON serialization is actually failing because we are not able to parse it correct. But either ways, the agent does work. And unfortunately, it took me a lot of tries to build this agent because near the end of this, I realized that I had a 20,000 token limit on my agent and I had to wait a minute before I did any other, every time I hit with the max limit, I had to wait a minute and then, after a minute, I had to run the agent. So I didn't realize that earlier. And I put a lot of max tokens notes here, which can impact the quality of the output. But my goal with this was to show you guys this can be done and you can create an agent to give you notes every day with respect to what content to create, and this is a functional agent that can do just that. So that is it for the video. I think this is a huge update. This is not still the best model by Claude, but if you tell me this is an upgrade to 3.5, I'd be happy to use it every day for writing my code. But either ways, thank you so much guys and have a great rest of the day.